Hi guys, it's Elise with Fit On, and it is time for a full body yoga sculpt. No weights needed, just an incredibly deep power flow to activate your upper body, core, glutes, and legs, get everything firing and having some fun along the way, as we always do. So let's begin standing at the front edge of our mat. We're gonna start in a classic Tadasana or mountain pose today. It's a very powerful pose, but very simple. And that's kind of at the heart of this entire flow. So feet are hip width, abs are engaged, shoulders roll down the back so that your palms face forward and your heart lifts. Now, feeling grounded and simultaneously engaged in the core, just take a moment to ask yourself what it is to be empowered. That is going to be our theme for today's class. Inhale your power and reach up overhead. As you exhale, we're gonna dive forward over soft knees, drop the head. Inhale, lift to a flat back. Soften the knees, plant the palms, and step back to plank pose. Now, I'm gonna give a few levels of this next flow. I think it's good if we all start with the level one. So we're gonna hold plank, drop your left knee, and inhale, open, half side plank, Ardha Vashisthasana. Come back through hands and knees, and open to the other side. So if you're new to yoga, or if this is your first time in this power yoga sculpt, you'll stay with that variation. Next level, we're gonna peel it open, full Vashisthasana on the inhale. Exhale to plank, and inhale, full Vashisthasana side two. Now we do have a level three. We're gonna take a chaturanga push-up, and then open to a one-legged Vashisthasana. Come through center, chaturanga push-up, one-legged side plank, side two. Believe it or not, there's a level four. It's a chaturanga press, one-legged Vashisthasana, one-legged chaturanga. This way, you always have somewhere to build. So you can come back to the mat with me over and over, trying all the different levels. I'm already out of breath, let's try one more. If you can handle that level four in good alignment, give it a try. Other side, but always feel free to come back to those modifications. I do it all of the time. From plank, press it up and back, a much needed downward dog. Inner elbows forward, my heart is pumping, my blood is flowing. Feeling good, let's keep that up. We're gonna lift the right leg to a down dog split. Point the foot, but then spread and flex the toes. Now keeping that hip square and the low back engaged, I want you to take a little gluteal lifts. So you're getting the benefits of an inversion, dropping the head and shifting the blood flow while we're lifting and shaping that glute. Hold the lift here. Exhale, knee to the nose. Let's get a little core work in plank. You're gonna hold it here. Drop the knee almost to the mat between the thumbs. If you need a rest, you set it all the way down. Exhale, back up like a cat, stretch. Up and back, down dog, split, square hip. Let's cross the body this time. Right knee, left tricep. Slide it down the outer arm. You can rest if you need. Lift up and back, down dog split. So like I said, no weights and no sit-ups needed to really sculpt a defined body. Drop that knee outside the outer arm, sweep it back up to the shoulder. Whew, feeling that waist, lift it up and back. And this time we step it through and set up for a strong and well-aligned warrior one. From here, let's take a flow. Exhale, fold over your warrior legs. And inhale, lift up, open the heart at the top. So I want you to feel that nice, strong movement as you keep the core and the legs strong like a powerhouse, but you get that nice mobility, flow, and flexibility through the heart and arms. Two more here. Inhale, open, and exhale, fold. Come all the way up, last heart opener here. Do a couple more of these chest presses, which also give us that great mobility in the shoulders. And the challenge is to keep the core engaged and the low back long. All right, next one, let's bring the hands to the heart. We're gonna approach warrior three by lifting the back heel, hinging forward, and trusting in the balance here. Now, part of being powerful is being willing to find that edge. I'm gonna interlace fingers, soften the standing leg so I have a little extra point of support, and then it's all about those gluteal lifts. abs stay in. Press and extend through a long back leg and lift that heel. Now, of course, if this is too much, you can always set up blocks to assist you with balance, but I'm gonna try about 8 more glute lifts from here. Firing up the core, the challenge is to keep the low back long again, so that movement starts at the base of the gluteus maximus, where it meets the top of the hamstrings. Now, believe it or not, we're not quite done. We're gonna add some lunges. You're gonna lunge the standing leg and press it straight. And you'll notice I'm looking down at a spot about 2 feet in front of my big toe. That is called our drishti, the focal point for our eyes, and it really helps with balance here. So let's hold the next lunge. See if we can gracefully step back to warrior one, reach up. I feel my right leg on fire, and of course, that back gluteal as well. I'm gonna lift and lower the front heel. A lot of times, traditional yoga does not have a lot of work for the calves. So I'm adding a little bit of calf work here. Fire up that core, square the heart. We'll just try 2 more. Last one. Hinge forward. Step back to plank. Be sure you're choosing wisely. We're gonna come back to that fun flow because we redefine fun as powerful and active. So that's those options from the beginning. I'm gonna try the level 3. Opening up to a side plank, both feet firmly planted for that chaturanga. Remember, you can come back to just stacking the feet or even the half side plank. This gives us an incredibly well-rounded range of motion, coupled with a ton of strength and cardio. My heart is pumping, my heart rate is elevated, all good things. Let's take it back. Down dog, drop the head now. We have side 2 and we're not really taking as many rests. So we're gonna take that left leg up, point the foot, then spread the toes. Keep that hip square, little gluteal lifts here. So what I'm practicing, because we have 2 more points of contact than we do in Warrior 3, is practicing a square hip gluteal lift. So my left leg is shaking, that's part of the power, but my core is engaged, my low back is lengthening. So in just for a moment, I'm gonna show you what not to do. We don't wanna swing from that low back. You wanna keep that engaged and lift from the seat. Here comes our core flow, knee to the nose, around the back like cat stretch. Inhale, hover the knee or rest it as you need. Lift it up and press it back. So I designed this flow for you to do many, many times before getting to the advanced options. So you may need to rest multiple times. Lower it down, sweep it up, and bring it back. It takes patience and consistency to build a powerful yoga practice. It doesn't happen in one. That's why I designed this for you to keep coming back, keep falling down, keep taking rests, and keep practicing. Step that left foot forward, widen the stance for a nice, powerful warrior one, and then rise into that warrior one. Now, sometimes being empowered means letting go of things that aren't serving us. That could be habits or thoughts. So I'd like you to exhale, fold forward, surrender what's no longer serving you. And inhale, rise powerfully into who you're meant to be. And just a few breaths like that. Exhale, release something. Inhale, creating space for something new. We're always evolving, we're always growing, and we always need to shift our thoughts and our habits accordingly. One more. Let's hold that beautiful heart opener. Get ready for those chest presses. Core is strong. Press the elbows in and open. And those elbows stay at shoulder height. And we're working mobility, strength, endurance, flexibility. So much happening in yoga because our full body is at work. We don't isolate one body part alone. Let's do 2 more and get ready for that warrior 3. I'm gonna bring hands to the heart, lifting the back heel to safely square my hips, finding that drishti, focal point for my eyes, and lifting up. So again, I'm using my hands on my thigh. You're welcome to use blocks. I'm gonna practice lengthening my low back and then lifting from the seat. So the key is not how high the leg is, but rather how straight the leg is and how long the spine is. So that lift is truly coming from the glute max. Keep your breath flowing. Sometimes when we get challenged, we forget to breathe. And it's actually when we need that breath the most. Ready for some lunges? Let's give them a try. I'm gonna maintain my drishti so I can stay on balance. But the other part of that is knowing that if I fall down, it's okay. This practice is designed to be challenging, even for the strongest and most advanced. Let's take one more, add that lunge. Mindfully sweep it back, lift up, feel amazing about what you've just done, and then exhale, fold forward, step it back. Good news, we're not gonna do that power flow again this time. We're gonna come down to the forearms and leading with the right hand, come up to full plank. Now we're gonna try to keep the hips as steady and still as we can while we do this flow. So I've learned lots of ways to power up a full body yoga sculpt without ever picking up a weight, without ever doing a jumping jack or a burpee. We can get our heart rate up, we can get our body sculpted and strong. It's all about maintaining integrity of alignment. Hold that forearm plank and breathe with me. Now, we're more than halfway through the power part of this flow. So I want you to breathe. We have to do that same press up, leading with the left. So if you need a rest, you simply come down to the belly, extend through the toes, sweep the arms back, and lift the heart. As you continue to come back to this particular practice, you might skip this rest and just stay in your powerful forearm plank. One more breath, and we're ready for side two. So keep the low back long. We want to avoid shifting our hips from side to side. So replace the elbow with the palm, left and right, left and right, left and right. Now, one side might be harder, and that's perfectly normal. None of us are perfectly symmetrical, right? We work toward balancing the body. I find this side much harder to stabilize my hips. So do I not practice it because it doesn't look as good? No, I practice it more so that I can bring it into balance. One more, I'm coming with you. We're gonna meet in plank. And then we get a full vinyasa. Slow, controlled chaturanga, even when we're tired. Inhale, cobra or up dog. Whew. Exhale, downward facing dog. Drop the head, shake out the brain a bit, and then walk the hands back to the feet. Soften the knees, take a ragdoll, and a little sway side to side. You might feel that breath nice and deep. We do get this inversion, a little shift in our blood flow. And then again, I love to slowly roll up as if you were deliberately stacking each vertebra, the rib cage, scapula down the back, hands to the heart. Now from here, we're gonna step to the middle of our mat, bring our feet wide, and play with the warrior two. So we wanna sculpt those inner thighs and the side waist. So set up your legs for a powerful warrior two. And we'll start with your left leg in front. Bend both elbows, shoulders down the back. Now this time, instead of a chest press, we're gonna utilize our obliques. So keep those elbows high. It's elbow to knee, back to center. So there's no tempo to adhere to. There's just your breath, your mobility, and your range of motion. So I don't want you to feel anything less than if your elbow only comes down a couple of inches. We work on oblique strength and flexibility until we work up to this point. So just take a couple more breaths here. Let's do one more. This flow has had a ton of obliques, full girdle of the core. Now a challenge, endurance and stillness. Shoulders down the back, powerfully reach through the arms. And do we notice the difference? These arms are not a full body power sculpt. Reaching strength, gravity defying arms, full body power sculpt. We don't need weights, just gravity, and we'll be defying it. So drop those hips low and give me 2 more breaths. Now there's an advanced version of this, and that is to enjoy the endurance, right? Enjoy the warrior two. That's the advanced work. Every day in life we get to choose. Either we endure the day or we thrive. Either we just muddle through or we enjoy. So one more breath. I want you to enjoy even the deepest challenge. Now it's time to challenge our balance. We're gonna straighten that leg. I heel toe my back foot in a few times. I'm gonna reach forward as if I was lifting up to triangle, but instead, balancing half moon. Can always place a block under those right fingertips. And I'm gonna add some lunges because it's a full body power sculpt. So we get those nice inner thighs, front quads, outer hips. So in addition to the quadriceps, the glutes, and the hamstrings, we wanna get the outer hips, the IT bands, the inner thighs, the obliques, all those muscles of our side body. Good, hold it low. Sweep it up to stand at the front of the mat. Now we're gonna do a move called a Shiva twist. It requires a lot of balance, so tipping over is encouraged. You're gonna lift that leg, take a twist toward me, and then see if you can sweep it back to a warrior three. And we're just gonna try that a couple of times. You can stand at center or bypass setting that foot down. And again, you'll hear me say it a lot, but it's not about being impressive. You're going to wobble. You're going to tip over, all part of the flow. Last warrior three, or just step it back, windmill it open, hands to the hips. We'll get side two, but first a nice fold. Taking a moment in the middle of our practice, and I encourage it through the middle of your day, to honor where you are. Gratitude for this healthy body. So we could spend all our time wishing we were stronger or more flexible, or we can live in appreciation of where we are. Abs in, shoulders down. And for me, part of being empowered is living in appreciation for where I am now, not trying to be something I was or trying to be someone I'm not, but just being here in this moment. Bend those elbows, engage that core, and let's try those oblique reaches. Again, you gotta keep that elbow high. Don't cheat by dropping the arm. So being authentic, being in integrity, it always makes things a lot more challenging, but it also makes the reward a lot more meaningful. Three more. All right, have you forgotten to breathe? Yoga is all about the breath. So really, there's only one requirement, and that's breathing. We're gonna hold warrior two. Engage the core, get as deep as you're willing to go. I'm right here with you. Relax the shoulders, power through those arms, lift the palms higher than the shoulders, get low in the legs. Practice enjoying the challenge. Life is filled with obstacles, it's filled with challenges. We get to decide if we turn them into opportunities or if we let them weigh us down. It's a conscious choice, so make it here with me for the last breath to come as deep and as powerfully as you can. Add that smile for the advanced option. And then straighten the leg. I'm gonna heel toe my back foot in, reach forward. Let's go for this balance together. Find your drishti, float up to half moon. Keep that core strong. Place a block under your fingertips if you need. And let's add those lunges. We're gonna lunge the standing leg, but notice I'm still utilizing the inner thigh of my lifted leg to keep that leg lifting. This is a full side body move, engaging the entirety of my body here. It is not easy. Find that breath. Last one. And then sweep it all the way up to stand. The last pose here in this part of the standing flow is that Shiva twist. So you're gonna lift that leg, twist toward me, and then see if you can sweep it back to warrior three. Knowing that you always have the kickstand right here as you come through center to regroup that balance, right? That's your level one option. Advanced for the last few, we're gonna try skipping that safety net. And it's okay if we need it. I'll probably need it. Feeling a little wobbly, all part of the practice. Come to stand, step those feet wide, hands to the hips, fold forward. We're gonna finish off on the mat. Heel toe those feet together, come down gracefully, and let's finish with a little bit of pelvic tilting for extension across the quads and psoas, which worked so hard, and an engagement of the glutes and the hamstring. So abs in a pelvic tilt, it's different than a bridge. I want you to keep the rib cage down and just lift those hips. You can come to the toes if you want, engaging the core. And Shavasana is a state of mind, right? It's the idea of letting go of the old to make space for the new. We don't have to be lying down to do it. So this is technically our Shavasana in this full body power sculpt. So I want you to find that intention of what you can release to create the best day and what you can move toward. And we'll take 8 more pulses together, firing up that core. On the last one, roll down 1 vertebra at a time. Find your way up to sit. And take a moment to honor yourself. That was a strong, full body sculpting flow. Keep coming back to the mat to join me for this one. And I promise you the strength and the balance will follow. Thank you for curating the time to be here. Namaste.